Welcome to the Unrefined Project. My name is Travis. This is my buddy Dave. Dave, how we doing?
Better than you.
Oh, I was just looking for a hanging in there, but I got a
health-wise
snarky,
better than you.
Yeah, usually I say tired, right?
I got a
Usually I say
snarky
tired.
remark.
Yeah.
Before I kick it over to Dave for the intro and the rundown of our beautiful guest here, some of you may recognize him. Just wanted to give a quick update. Got my Poppins patches. Little gift bag in the mail here, and I must say I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to patches. I've had some patches from, Etsy and some custom ones, and I get a lot of bleed out and a lot of like color running, and the color's not strong. I mean, these things are super quality. I'm gonna try and hold these up to the camera, but they're just they're really, really good, high quality PVC patches. If you're into it, you're into it. If you know, you know. But I just wanted to give another quick shout out to Dave over at Poppins Patches, doing work over there, man. And we're looking to do a couple of custom logos or anything. If anyone wants to drop a suggestion down in the comments and let us know what would look cool, we'd appreciate that. So,
Sorry, I had a cough.
yeah, you can use our faces for things. But anyways, over to Dave for intro and the rundown.
All right, as you can tell, it's a little different here. Our producer is out. I think he has diarrhea. I don't know. So we're just going to do one camera on all three of us, so we don't have to do any video switching or anything like that.
Yeah.
And Johnny G is back again.
That's right.
He's like a genital wart. You invite him in, right? Because it looks so good.
Never leave.
And then he just does it. He doesn't leave, right? He's been here since.
Yes.
But no, we're going to be talking about last week we talked about like water rights and shit like that. Actually, Johnny has done some research on that and has an update for us on that.
Yes.
We're going to talk about private versus public schools. Fuck public schools. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about fitness and diet. Right, it's important to me that everybody gets healthy, and I think you should. I mean, I'd love to see a world full of healthy people, as compared to a world full of fat asses like we do now. You know?
Yeah. We were.
I know I'm being a little harsh, but I'd rather see healthy people. You know, you live longer. You're not at the hospital. You don't get sick as much. Everything just seems to fit a little bit better in life. You know, life is actually easier. It's getting up and doing stuff during the day. Feels a lot easier.
And I think your attitude changes if you feel
more
energized.
Yeah,
you don't feel like you're always down and mad at yourself or just mad at the world. And
100%. 100%. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I was at a little shindig last night and got to see a bunch of people that I haven't seen in a long time. It was really good to catch up. And, two topics that we're discussing today kind of just came up naturally in discussion. I used to work out a lot when I was in high school because I was in sports and everything, and I tried to carry that mantra, that attitude, that discipline into life after high school, and was pretty successful with my roommate and stuff. But just discussing, fitness and a lot of these new parents and stuff just feel like they don't have the time. We're kind of dealing with that as well, tackling our two kids. So
there's always time.
There's always time. It's just an excuse. Right.
Especially with little kids. You take your little kid and you use them as a fucking weight. You can do curls.
Right.
I wouldn't suggest putting them on their back for push-ups or anything like that, but you can do, raises, everything with them.
True. Yeah. I was very, very pleased to hear Johnny did a little bit of homework, and we've got some water rights updates. So I think
Travis doesn't know about it. I do.
Yeah.
He's told me already, but he has not told Travis. So this will be interesting. This will be the first time Travis hears it. Love to see his reaction.
Yeah.
All right. So I found out that the Bush family had purchased back in 2005 to 2006.
Yeah.
Just under 300,000 acres in Paraguay. For what reason? Obviously, the largest underground aquifer or freshwater. It happens to be directly under their feet.
Yep.
And bleeds into Brazil and some of the little countries, but most of it's there. And you kind of think about, is that going to be their retirement home or vacationing? That's a lot of property for,
sounds to me like they're in it
300,000
for selling
acres.
water, right?
I'm trying to vision that.
That's a lot.
How big is that? Is that like the state of Rhode Island or something?
I don't know.
I'm trying to compare
huge.
it to something.
I have so many questions so quickly.
Just shoot. That's why we didn't tell you before.
Right.
Okay. Right. So we're talking about the Bush family.
The
Bush family.
And we're talking about the Paraguay,
The Paraguay,
the country.
So I'm sure they were talking to the governments there and working out some kind of deal.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
why would somebody
Maybe
wanna
when they were
buy
in
all
office
this?
too.
Okay, put your tinfoil hat on, people. If you want a
Yes,
little conspiracy, Father Bush,
Yeah.
George
George H.
had a lot to do with the CIA,
Yes.
and a lot of
Prescott
weird operations happening in South America with the CIA. So I just have a lot of red flags, right? You want to create a red flag law and
Spit 'em
take
out.
people's
We're here to
firearms. That's some red flags, right? Conflict of interest. How would one go about arranging such a deal?
Where did the money come from?
Well, they get
Obviously,
they're
they-
into
they're
steel
fundraisers
right? Steel
and-
manufacturing and
yes.
stuff like that down in Texas. So
So
that is it. What'd you think? That's a trip.
I just
that is a lot.
the avenues at which
What year did you say they bought it?
2005 to 2006.
Yeah, I mean we're not
So 2005 to 2006. Who was in office?
Obama.
That would have been Obama's 08. Who was in office before him?
04 to 08. 04 to 08 was Bush.
No, 2000 to 08 was Bush because he got 2 terms. George H. Bush.
Oh yeah.
So
right,
what
right.
kind of what do you think that was
Fandango.
going on? Different country buying all this property,
Okay, right.
I'm
right?
sure they
while
knew-
he was in office as a
2000
president.
to 2008, Bush Jr.
Bush, yeah.
08 to
George W.
2016, Obama. Right.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
I had my lines crossed there for a second. So okay.
So he was in office when they purchased the land in Paraguay with the largest aquifer known to man.
You know, see, and that's the thing too. Is
That's
that,
all
like,
fresh water.
that
fresh water.
That's a lake underneath a mountain they own.
what's hot right now, right?
Water.
Corruption in a country that had to do with an individual in power and their children, right? And now, and people love to throw shade at the Uranium One deal that happened, with Hillary and Obama, but like it happens on both sides, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You can't turn a blind eye to your team when they're doing shady, crazy shit like that. Who buys? And it's probably in a national forest, protected, right? I mean, Paraguay knows there's good water to give to their citizens
It's
there,
all
right? So-
rainforest out there.
Was there any kickbacks that happened for
Oh, yeah.
Paraguay? I mean, did they get some help from the United States for that? Tax funding help?
That's dirty, dude.
It's
dirty.
it's interesting though, isn't it?
I'll definitely get some more information, but like I said, the new oil is water. That's coming up. People like Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, Citigroup, Credit Suisse, Barclays Bank, they're all investing in
Water
utilities, aquifers, water rights, lakes, anything like that.
That's crazy.
So they see,
They're going to privatize water.
They are.
That's all that's going to happen. Right?
and the governments are making it harder for
Which
just
means water will
general
get more
people to-
expensive, but we won't be in a perpetual drought, guaranteed.
See, that's
we
crazy,
won't be in
though.
a
It's just
drought,
like-
but somebody will be making a ton of money for something that's free.
It's all right. We'll
Sorry, the dog's
we'll
going
just break
crazy
for
around
that. We just had a little. Was that doorbell?
Yeah, who cares? Yeah,
right.
keep going.
It's all right. Are they done?
Another.
No, we're good.
One of the largest besides Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
That's all fresh water. Those people are pretty much, they can take care of themselves there. But,
it's interesting. It is interesting because that's life.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you want to figure out a way to control people. You control what they eat and what they drink, or how much they get.
Like I said,
Right.
That's so crazy,
Air's
though.
next.
So crazy.
So
crazy, isn't it?
But we didn't used to pay for water either, right? There was a point in history where
Well,
people
everybody's
were just
getting
like,
it from their own well, from the rivers, pumping it themselves.
Now a lot of them are limited to so many thousands of gallons.
Yeah, sorry, you guys. You can probably hear the dogs running around right now. They're being batshit crazy.
So on one of the largest aquifers in America happens to be the Ogallala aquifer. Yes.
Ogallala.
yes, Ogallala Aquifer.
So that in cases, most of it's in Nebraska, Kansas, Colorado, Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and South Dakota. Is that whole area there.
Yeah.
And the water table seems to be going up about a foot every year for some reason. They have all these test wells that they always take measurements every year.
And it's just getting higher and higher.
And it just, yes, like they had it at, I think it was, I believe, 10 feet below your feet is where the water table was.
Holy shit.
So it just keeps rising. So either the land is sinking or something's going on, or just it's retaining a lot of water.
There's more water. There's a lot more water somehow.
Right. So
That is a very large aquifer. I think it even expands into Iowa. I mean, that's like common knowledge when you live in the Midwest.
I actually had a picture of it on a thumb drive, but obviously,
Yeah.
maybe you guys can post it up.
Interesting.
Later.
Yeah.
I got my thumb somewhere else.
On
you
the
know.
pulse. on your
On the
pulse.
pulse of America.
So this
And
gentleman,
I call my butthole America.
We went
so
there.
the gentleman Gary Harrington is the one that had 170 acres of land up in Oregon,
Yeah.
and he decided to make some ponds, catch some rainwater,
Yes.
stock it with some fish.
Wow. Can I just say, I appreciate your efforts with this. I meant to do that. I meant to figure out who this guy was because I had heard this story when I was living in Oregon. Sorry, continue.
Okay. So, yeah, so he was basically criminalized. He had to do 30 days in jail, pay like, I think it was less than $2,000 fine. He had to breach his dams to drain the water. And it's like, it's just natural, it's not affecting anybody. It's his land. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just rainwater. I mean, where else is it going to go? He's not going to be able to catch everything.
Yeah.
So obviously the land's still going to be saturated and stuff like that. But yet they're still putting restrictions like that.
That's fucking insane.
It's yes. So
Yeah, I didn't believe it when I first heard it, right? Someone was like, someone went to jail for collecting rainwater.
Right.
I was like, what?
That's
And then I heard-
crazy.
and then I heard
he
about
tried to
the
fight.
ponds.
He tried to fight it, but obviously he didn't have the resources to keep going.
No. I mean, we have
That's crazy.
We have these examples in the past, right? I mean, Marvin Heemeyer, for one, went crazy because he was fighting multiple sanctions and rules that the town had created to prevent him from basically having his business. I mean, this is no different. You're preventing a person from, and the argument is always so crazy to me, right? Like, you can't capture water because then, the people downstream are going to be affected. It's like, if I'm capturing water to water my plants, it's going to go in the ground.
It's still on my land. It's whether it's on my roof or just a couple feet off my roof.
But it's going to go back into the earth or the ground.
You're not going to be able to collect it all. So you're only taking this very, very, very small percentage.
Yeah, it's just there's so many
what
caveats.
was he doing
to it,
with
right?
the groundwater or the
they're making.
water? Is he just saving it for himself?
He was going to use it for his farming. He actually stocked one of the ponds with trout, bass, that kind of stuff to kind of.
I believe it was like an aquaponics attempt, right?
Yeah.
But like on a large scale. I think he had agriculture.
And they're saying that downstream it destroys everybody else's shit is what they're saying.
it prevents people from getting their share
Of the
right?
groundwater.
Well, I think he was capturing rainwater, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, it soaks into the ground. It spreads out.
Snow
right?
runoff was one of the things. Snow runoff and rainwater.
Okay.
I don't know if he was diverting water from like the creeks or anything like that. That I could see an issue with it, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing in like national parks. You get guerrilla growers, growing cannabis up there.
Right.
They divert streams.
You see all the
and
water lines running up the mountains.
exactly. So I mean, there's. I just am always fascinated with the, reasoning why, or like the excuse that they give to do this kind of stuff, right? Okay, we're going to regulate your ability to collect your own rainwater because, all right, now we got to figure out that reason, right? And they're like, well, we could say that they're screwing the next guy down further downstream, right? Now we have our justification to try and implement this law, right? So it's.
So there's some states that have no restrictions on them, such as Alabama, Alaska, Arizona has some, no restrictions, and they actually have incentives for
To
you
collect your own water.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's so
like-
fucking dry there. I
Right.
mean, it's best for you to take care of yourself because they're not going to have enough to take care
right.
of you,
So
right?
they give you incentives to possibly put some kind of a system up on your roof to filter or whatever it takes. Arkansas has one as long as it's used for non-potable,
Yeah.
then it's fine.
So you can't
use it
purify
for
it and use it as
drinking
water.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't know what's in it. There's no way to test it all the
Right.
time and see what's going on. That's insane.
So yeah, that's basically what I got on that. So
Wow, solid.
It's a lot more research than I would have done. Shit.
Well, you know,
I'd have been like, there's fucking fish killing our shit.
Yeah.
And,
Well, like in the back of my head, I was like, I got to figure out who that Oregon dude was, because that was hot when I was there. It was like this topic of discussion. We've got a lot of like, you know, good old mountain boys that want to be able to, you know, they have 500-gallon tanks on their hill, and
since then though, a lot of states have lessened restrictions now. There was I believe it was either a bank that were trying to get into the Reno water district, trying to work a deal with them because they were losing money, and they offered them crap load of money. Here we go. We have a guest here, and when the people found out about it, they were at arms.
Really,
they were pissed, and they rejected the offer.
Wow,
they straight rejected the offer.
And that's the thing too, is like if people are coming in from out of town and these out of like, you know, outlying areas to come into these kind of, it's like you already know it's not in your best interest, especially if you're a local in this town trying to like maintain, you know, the water that you already have. I don't know if I said this last weekend or not, but I'm really focused on trying to be where the water starts and not where the water ends.
And
you know,
different quality at the bottom.
It's where it dries up too.
If it even gets there in the first place. I mean, the Colorado River is not in good shape right now, and the people that are downwind, downstream rather.
Downwind would be for farts, not water.
Yeah,
well, that's just the way it works.
It depends on what kind of time of the day it is. But so it's
dogs are lively today.
I think we are. I really do think we are going to be, as a society, more conscious and more aware, and just kind of be in the sphere of topic of this water stuff in the future. I really do.
Yeah. It's gonna be like Water World.
Yes.
Remember that shit? Yeah. And they're selling water. You can't get fresh water because it's all rainwater, right?
Well, you can't get paper.
Yeah.
Or a tomato plant. You know?
Yeah.
Trade your girl for a tomato plant. You know?
You know what?
Is it worth it?
That's funny you say that.
My wife, no, I wouldn't trade her for the world.
So he's lying because he knows it's being recorded.
Right. Nice.
Plus,
save.
I'm getting paid to say that.
Nice save.
She's not here this weekend watching us. So.
Speaking of,
not giving me the stink eye over there.
That's funny. A little sidebar. My dad used to bootleg movies back in the day on VHS, and like Apollo 13, for example, would run too long for the first VHS, so there was a second one that would have
part two. Yeah,
that would have like 10 minutes on it.
10 minutes left on it.
So Waterworld was a two-parter too.
Oh, that was a long movie,
and I was never aware of that.
So you never saw the ending?
I always thought the movie ended with the boat sinking and them just being stranded on the water. They never actually found land, right?
Yeah, not making it to the island.
Yeah. This movie sucked.
It was years and years until I saw the last 10
That's
minutes.
funny.
Wow.
That's funny.
So anyway, big shout out to Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
That's Costner, right? Waterworld.
All right. Well, anybody in California, now you know why we are out of water all the time. You know?
Yeah.
Now you know who's going to be in charge of it here pretty soon. The Bushes.
Next time Gabby says he wants to be your president, just remember he's going to try and take your water from you.
Yeah. He's a piece of shit.
Buy water stocks now.
That's right.
Yeah. And if you ever watch this, Gavin Newsom, we don't like you. We don't want you here.
No, I want you here.
I
want you here. I would love to have a candid conversation with anybody.
No, I mean on the show, yes, I'd love to have him on the show.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to have someone like him on the show. Nancy Pelosi, I'd get her just wasted. Oh, she's already wasted, drunk. Never mind.
Get more info out of her.
Give her coffee and sober her up would be the opposite effect.
Yeah, get more info out of her. Find out how to become a demon. You know what I mean? I just want to know.
I don't know.
Just don't stand next to her. She might do one of these on you. Bump you out of her way.
Oh, like that little kid.
Oh,
that was hilarious.
She probably, wanted the stage.
Dude, that was funny. That was funny.
But it was funny because she actually glanced at her and then turned and then did the elbow.
Well, it was a Republican, Myra Flores, right?
Yes.
From down in Texas. Hasn't been one from a Republican in like fucking over a century. Right? A Mexican American born in Mexico.
Right.
Naturalized to America. She became a congressperson in a blue town, is no longer blue. So Nancy Pelosi
Nice
was
play.
already on the defense, right? When she was in that video.
So is this a tearing up moment when during
Yeah,
during the
you know,
State of the Union? Is that what that was?
I don't know if it was
like a little-
maybe
it's
she
like a
didn't
little-
know someone was recording. It was getting ready for a picture. You've seen it, right? With kids sitting next
they
to
were
her.
just kind of standing,
And
getting
it's,
ready.
yeah, it's the new Congress lady's daughter,
Hey,
and
a
she
little
just
too
kind
close
of
to me
pushes
here.
her out.
Here, move out of the way. Here.
She's an evil piece of shit.
But like, who does that to a kid, dude?
She
Nancy
does.
Pelosi.
She does.
Even if you're not being recorded, like who?
guarantee you
But
Nancy
what
Gavin
adult
Newsom would
wakes up
too.
and is like,
Well, you don't think people are watching?
watching?
There's other people there. It's like
She don't give a
come
fuck.
on now, dude. She's
Dude, she's got one foot in the grave. She's benzoed out. She's drunk every fucking second of the day.
with her husband.
And some fucking how she still gets people to vote for her.
Okay.
That is fucked
What about
up.
what about her husband's newest move with Nvidia?
I haven't heard about that.
Okay.
I just heard about his DUI.
I'm gonna need to get fact checked.
You
on
never
this
heard
because
anything after that, did you?
we did an update on it, didn't we? It got dropped.
Just the DUI. I didn't
was
hear
it?
about that. I
No,
heard
it
he
got- it got
got
dropped.
charged with it.
No, it got dropped
Like 30 days later.
and then there was
course
backlash, and I think it's back on the potential for charges.
I doubt it.
Because he hit someone else's car, right? In his Porsche or whatever.
There was damage to other people's property. I'll have to double check on that. If you know what happened, drop it in the comments. But I know it took like 3 weeks from him getting the actual DUI to getting dropped, and then I believe there was potential backlash, and now it's back on. It's plausible. It's
Yeah.
plausible that he was drunk.
I don't pay
So
attention.
we're trying
I
to
stopped
figure it out.
watching news a long time ago.
yeah.
I listen to
so-
some shit here and there, but I stopped like actually paying attention. It's
So,
all garbage.
Daddy Pelosi, I don't know his name, bought like a bunch of shares in NVIDIA right before Congress just announced this giant push towards the graphics card. Like,
Yeah. But you use it for mining,
right,
crypto mining. Yeah.
right. I'll have to look the bill up. We'll put it in the description.
That's actually slowed down, from what I understand.
That has Bitcoin still on it.
Because graphics
Ethereum
cards
is actually
have
changing
dropped
over.
in price too.
They
They're
have
dropping.
not that much,
Not
but
that much,
they're
but
dropping.
some.
They're like not nearly as much as they
Right.
were 2 years ago. But like Ethereum's getting off of proof of work. They're going over to proof of stake. So they're changing it up. It won't be mining the same way anymore.
At the same rate.
Yeah, it'll just be validating through owners, people that own stake in that crypto.
Oh, did you see some like major bank just announced NFTs? They're starting their own NFT. It's like an actual institution, banking institution, doing an NFT.
I believe it.
Clown world, man.
Yeah.
It's
The
clown
wave
world.
of the future
there's
is
water NFTs.
digital and fake.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd rather like be able to like drink my water instead of just stare at it on a computer screen. Like it's
Well, when the Bushes are in charge, that's all you're going to do. You're going to buy their NFTs from them and be like,
Right.
doesn't that taste good?
It's gonna be Bush's water.
Yeah. Huh?
Bush
I guarantee
water.
you, guaranteed Nancy Pelosi's still going to have her booze. Guaranteed.
there's some water and alcohol.
Like 2%.
Nah, most of it's water. Very little bit is
Water,
alcohol and sugar.
and-
Well, speaking of things we hate, we can talk about public schools next.
All right. We
Because,
ran long on that. Bunch of
because
tangents.
We got into some, hey, water is fluid, right? That's how that.
It's always gonna come back.
goes.
All right. So private versus public schools. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I know we all do. Obviously, private school of your choosing is better. Arizona Governor Ducey. I think it's Doug Ducey, right? Am I tripping? Or that's his name, right? I
Keep
forget his
going.
name.
I'll look it up.
But the governor of Arizona actually just came out with I think it's about $7,000 a year. You give it to the parents, right? That's what they pay in taxes. That's they're
it's
going to
Doug-
give the
Doug
money.
Ducey,
Doug
since
Ducey.
2015.
So they
And
just
you do
signed
whatever you
into
want
law.
with that,
You take
whatever
the
school.
$7,000. You can go to your private school, or you can go to the public school that's near you, right? So it's school choice. I 100% think that is the way of the future. That's the best way to go. We have issues here in this city. Our kids go to a school that's technically, as the crow flies, it's close. It's like 1.8 miles. Right. But to drive, it's almost 4 or 5 miles to get there. There's actually another school down the street, much closer to us. Would be a much faster walk, much faster drive, much better school. They can't go there because the zone that we're in is zoned for that school. We've already talked to them. We've tried to switch them over. Oh, we can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it.
Right.
Well, their school's getting a brand new school built behind it right now. So next year, end of next year, they should be in a brand new school that's costing like $40 million, right? $40 million for a middle school. Now, are they not letting us change out of that school because they getting paid for our kids to go to that school? And that's saying, hey, look, we need this new school. Hey, look, that we're doing the right thing by building this new school. We got all these students, but it's screwing us. And it screws the kids because it's an hour and a half walk. It's a really old school. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So they're just kind of updating.
It takes like an hour and a half for the kids to walk home sometimes when we can't get them, right? Because I'm at work. Mom's at work. Yeah. So the other one's like a 30-minute walk.
You make your children walk an hour and a half.
Good exercise.
Nah, fuck them. They'll do it.
It's child abuse, man.
That'll go back into the fitness part of this,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah,
seriously, these kids are ripped, you know? They like working out. They love it. They're doing good at it.
I saw them yesterday.
Yeah, doing jiu-jitsu, wrestling, everything, you know? But they won't let us go to any other school. There's 2 schools, actually, that are closer drives, closer walks. But as the crow flies, that is like
you're out of their boundary.
And
it's weird how they
0.02 miles closer as the crow flies, right? Not going through the neighborhoods and stuff like that. And also, we've asked about school busing. School busing in this county, Santa Clara County,
doesn't it?
And the Unified School District, Gilroy Unified School District, huh? This is South County, Santa Clara County, until you get down to Hollister, and that's San Benito. Mm-hmm. So they will not bus them in unless they're 2 miles away as the crow flies. If I lived 0.2 miles that way, they'd be able to take a bus to school.
So they're just outside the bounds, or they're too close?
We're just too close by 0.2 miles to take a school bus. But it's a 10-minute drive, and it's an hour and a half walk, right? Because you've got to go, all these different ways through the neighborhoods and stuff like that. So it's insane to me that we can't choose what school we want to go to. The school that's much closer walk,
right?
It's a drive literally down the street.
So is that the reasoning that you're too close for a bus to operate?
We're too close. You have to be 2 or more miles away. I don't know.
So can your kids walk 0.3 miles in the other direction and get picked up?
It's the address where their mailing address.
But they do have buses running.
Oh, of course they have buses.
Okay.
But it's like 1 or 2 buses maybe, and you've got to be 2 miles as the crow flies. Now, it's much farther than 2 miles driving.
If you're out in the country, obviously, you're going to get a bus ride.
Yeah, but, 0.2 miles up here, technically you would be out in the country, and there's nobody up there.
Right.
There's no houses or anything like that. There's very few. And those kids get bused in. But it boggles my mind how we can't say, hey, we'd rather go to this school that's much faster for us to get to, much faster walk for the kids. Right. They won't let them do it. We've fought and fought and fought with them, and they will not let them do it. And, I'd love to send them to private school, but it's so fucking expensive. Yeah. And here in California, I think they say it's about $20,000 to $30,000 per student per year to go to school is what we're paying in taxes, right? So if we're already paying that in taxes, why not just give us the choice of where we want to spend it? Don't give the money to us. Give us the choice.
And we'll allocate it to whatever school.
And say, okay, I want to send my kids to this school. I want to send my kid to that school. Religious or not, what if I wanted to go to a charter school?
Right.
What if I think their school is ghetto, which it is, which they're not, the only thing they're learning is how to be more ghetto. Right. Good thing my kids have good heads on their shoulders, so,
They're getting more street smarts than anything else.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, and I wish we had the choice of where to send them. Even if a school was a little bit farther away, but a better school.
Right.
With better, kids that aren't just living at home with their moms, 2-parent household kids.
I mean, that's my whole thing, though. It's like at the end of the day, you're shopping. You're attempting to purchase a service, i.e. education for your kids.
Yeah, but that's not the way California looks at it. Ask Gavin Newsom. He sends your kid to where he wants to. He won't let you choose. He's not gonna. And there's no way we're gonna have that choice. Now, you know what that does, though, right? That raises property values. Because now only in these certain areas. Yes. Because now if you look at like Cupertino, it's a blue ribbon school district. What does that do? Makes the housing prices higher because people want their kids to go to those
better
schools without having to fight somebody for it, right?
You're on the east side.
You're on the east side. Houses are cheap. You're going to be going to crap school where I went. Right. That's just the way it works. So who's paying who's in whose pocket? I'd love to know that kind of information.
Well, but it's this whole idea about who actually has the ability to advocate for the kids, right? We hear about this all the time. secret conversations happening at school, attempting to hide things from parents. I mean, there should not be teachers, administrators, principals, janitors.
Yeah, we talked about this on episode, what was it, 6 or something like that. Yeah, parental controls.
I mean, the only person that should be advocating for a child is the child's parent.
Correct.
Teachers don't have. That's not why I'm sending my child to school.
No, I'm sending them to school to learn 2 plus 2 equals 4, not
teach.
5.
That's it. You teach.
That's why they go to school. I've been looking more and more into online education.
Yes, I see.
That have been, accredited, whatever that means. Is that really a high standard anymore with this state? Who knows? It's become a shit state for schools.
Yeah,
it's like the worst, one of the worst in the nation. I'm sure Chicago's not too far behind, but
California ranks.
I'm sure New York's pretty bad.
10 on any list,
and nobody sees it. Everybody just move to this neighborhood. Just spend more money and move to this neighborhood. Live beyond your means. Live beyond your means. Go into debt. Live in this area because it's got a good school. That's not the way it's supposed to be, right?
That's like saying that this turd looks the nicest.
And what's crazy is the schooling taxes. Most of the schooling tax come out of your property taxes,
yes,
right? For owning a home here.
Yes.
Right? So our property taxes are the same as the guy down the street who actually gets to go to that better school.
Yes.
Sure.
And the houses aren't much different priced, really.
Right.
But, when we moved in here, you check Zillow. It says, okay, we're going to go to this school.
Well, the boundary could be across the street.
It could be. Yeah, well, we moved here knowing, okay, they're going to this school down here. We get in here. We call Gilroy Unified. They say, no, they're going to that school. We're like, wait a minute. Our listing said this school.
Right.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
The boundary.
This is the school they're going to. I'm like, this school's closer.
That school's full already. Sorry, we only have room.
Correct. And I think that has a lot to do with the school they're at now has a new one being built. $40 million spending on the school, then they're going to tear down the old one. Right. Probably by the end of next school year, they'll actually be in the new school. Doesn't make the teachers better. Doesn't make the neighborhood better.
You're just
doesn't make
the
all
building.
Exactly. You're polishing a turd. Right. That's all they're doing. And are they? Hey, we're allocating more money, to be spent on the school, or hey, we're spending all this money, so we need our attendance to be higher to justify how much money we're spending. Is that what it is?
To get their budget.
I mean, that's how it is in our union.
Yeah.
We get fiat from the state based on asses and seats.
That's true. Yeah, whether they're good or not.
They just need they just need warm bodies.
That's how schools are.
That's why they're like calling in, where's your child today?
Well, but that's again.
Yeah. They'd rather your kid come to school sick and then go home.
Yeah, because at least they got the check mark.
At least they got the check mark and they got paid. I think that's completely wrong how to do it.
That's because it's being run by the government. That's the way the government solves problems, right?
Correct.
Is they need to have their boxes checked. They need to have, the email sent. They need to have the process, right?
Correct.
Government is just protecting the process. So they need to implement a process. The process needs to get more convoluted and more complicated every time, which means you need more people, and those people need to be higher trained, which means they need to be paid more. Right? We're always protecting the process with this kind of shit. My child is not a process. My child is not.
It's not a number.
Part of your.
It's not a number. Maybe to you, but it's not to me. To me,
yeah.
It's not. That my child is not a number. None of them.
It just irks me that this. I said this last time. This state loves to tell you what you can do.
Correct.
As opposed to going to a more free state where they tell you what you can't do.
Correct.
Right? Please don't go over there. We're trying to grow those trees. If you want to ride a dirt bike, ride it over there. Yeah. California's like, you cannot ride your dirt bike anywhere except for right here.
Correct.
Right? So it's like, it's this whole mindset that people have here. Like, you are shopping for a service. You should be finding the best service that you can for your kid.
And there's a lot of people in this state that don't pay attention to that don't agree with it. I've got in-laws that are like that. They just, everything's fine and dandy. Everything's wonderful. They don't watch this, so I don't give a shit. Everything's wonderful, right? It's not wonderful. Pay attention. Your kid's going to be screwed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have kids. Your kids are going to be screwed up. That's the state that we live in. Right. But they're so passive, and they're not. There's no fire to get their family in order. You know what I mean? That you can see it. I really don't care. They don't watch this shit. They will not watch this.
That's not why I'm smiling.
Stuff, right?
As I stated before, I had a lot of these exact conversations with people that I haven't seen for a while last night. And it was like, I basically came to this conclusion that modern day parents outsource their parenting.
Correct.
Way too much.
Correct.
My kid goes to school 8:00 in the morning till like 4 or 5 at night when he's at his preschool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all day with obviously they're not, but effectively a stranger.
Right.
I am outsourcing my parenting by paying for childcare, right? And it turns into
because it's a 2-parent working household.
It is by design.
Of course it is by design, and there's I forgot who it was. I was just listening to a Jordan Peterson podcast, and they were talking about if it was designed as women's rights, when that whole thing came up, when women started getting into the fields, the working fields and stuff like that.
Second wave feminism.
Correct. And now it is basically most households, you have to have 2 parents working
in order
to survive, right?
Exactly.
It was never like that before.
Yeah.
It was by design.
Well, at least in
right?
California.
We're not surviving on Netflix subscriptions and Chick-fil-A.
No.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I have these conversations with my wife all the time. It's like, look, it's not impossible.
Wait, you canceled the Chick-fil-A or Netflix?
I canceled Netflix. They bumped it up another whatever.
I think it's $19 or something like that.
Yeah, it's like,
but it's like, you know what I mean? Like we're not out here struggling to put
Yeah.
the next meal on the table for the kids, right?
No,
There's
not at all. But
no.
there's if I was in a single person working household, I guess, if I was the only one working
Right.
or my wife was the only one working, we would be struggling.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're both working, that's the only way to make it. Right? But who suffers? Who suffers? The children.
The most important people in the whole equation.
When I was a kid, my dad worked, and then, my mom raised us till I was like 10 or 11, whatever. And then she started working and stuff like that. And then she moved out, and everything happened with that. But it's not the same. Right? She was able to focus on us and growing up, right? And make sure we weren't doing things that we weren't supposed to be doing, because you give a kid an inch, they're going to take a fucking mile. That's the way it's supposed to be, right? That's how kids are.
Yeah, you give a kid a hammer, everything turns into a nail.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if
Bang
you send them
every
to
wall.
public school with all these other kids that are from single
Right.
mother households, and that the mom is struggling, she's
those
working
issues,
12
they're gonna
to
pick
14 hours a day to survive. And those her children
Hi, Mom.
are doing whatever they want all day long.
Right.
Not everyone's going to be a good apple.
And some of them have 2 jobs. I mean, they're
That's what
doing
I'm talking
2
about.
jobs.
Yeah.
So what does a kid do from when they're out of school until mom gets home?
Correct. That's the issue,
They're
right?
hanging out with Jimmy over there doing who knows what.
That's the biggest issue I see, and when you get to choose your kid's school, you get to pick what kind of people they get to be around. And I'm not talking about white. I'm not talking about black. I'm not talking about Hispanic. I'm not talking about Asian. I'm talking about the type of children you can easily tell.
Hearts and minds.
You can go to one school, see the kids, doesn't matter what race they are. You can be like, I don't want to send my kid to this school. Mm-hmm. We don't have a choice unless we send them to private school. So now we're paying property taxes
For
the public school, and then
That your
on
kid's
top
not
of
even
that,
going.
correct. And then now we're paying private school. So, I mean, they've only got 1 year left at this school. So hopefully, and then the youngest isn't, hopefully he's in GATE and all that stuff. So hopefully he'll be in a magnet program. We can choose his school as long as he's in a magnet program.
Explain.
GATE is the gifted and talented education, whatever it is. The youngest guy, he's a nerd, right? Mm-hmm. He's much smarter than I am. Right? He runs the roost around here.
I mean, they should be.
But when they go off to middle school, from elementary to middle school, if he's in GATE, he's got more of a, hey, I want to go into this type of magnet program.
A field, right?
A field.
Yeah.
Right? And
Robotics
the school,
or anything like that.
the school that the twins go to there's no magnet there, right? They call it a magnet, right? No specific
But they don't
thing.
have a specific course
Correct.
that they have there.
But the school that we want to send them to does have that. And when we moved out here, it was kind of weird because we moved from, San Jose, and one of them was in GATE up there, but when we moved, it didn't transfer down to here. It was kind of weird. And it was during COVID,
it's
so
not
they were
it's
online
not a
schooling.
county specific thing.
Kind of. It's a school district thing.
Or district.
Is it like an
And we're a
opt-in?
different school district down here.
Is it like an opt-in or?
I don't know what they call it, but so we'll have better chance of sending him to the school we want to, because they have a magnet program there, and if he's interested in that field, we could say, hey, he wants to go to the school.
He's interested in that.
Correct.
That field.
So once you're in the school, you can stay in the school the whole time.
Right.
So more than likely, that's what will happen
But
with him.
now you're splitting the kids.
Well, the twins will be out of that school onto the next school by the time he gets into that middle school.
You know, and I've always kind of thought that like people should have skin in the game when they vote, for example, right? Like you shouldn't be able to vote for property tax increase if you don't own a home. Kind of the same.
You also shouldn't have to pay for schooling if you don't have a child.
Why have I been paying property taxes for the last 4 years? When
There's still other things that go into there's other things that go into property taxes, but yeah, a big part of that is schooling.
My roads.
My roads.
Are my roads getting fixed out there, Californians? Is that where our taxes are going?
My roads suck in the Bay Area.
It's not what's happening.
Yeah.
They're going to fund war in Ukraine.
No, you know what? You want to know what your road taxes are going to? They're going to build lanes that they're going to charge you.
They're going to charge you so they can make more money.
Dude, they got you both ways. They're taking your taxes. They're building a road like they said they would, but now they're going to charge you for the express lane.
And then they're going to get that money back.
Yeah, right. But also the roads that they're building have less lanes. Have you been on Camden, San Tomas as it dips down and heads towards Capitol?
Yeah.
You know, notice that whole thing went from 3 to 2 lanes, and they basically extended a giant bike lane and some weird
all the way down to Hillsdale.
Just took it
all the way from Hillsdale and then until you get to Capitol Auto Mall.
Huge sidewalk.
Now it's back to 3 lanes. Very weird. Yeah, huge sidewalk, massive, another lane and a half. You know.
Now, when it comes to homeschooling, there's curriculums that I guess it's hard because people have to come and they have to see proof that you're doing it. You have to be in contact with
It's called like person. Accreditation, right?
Yeah. And but a lot of courses you get to pick.
Yes.
You know, which are you have an option.
Yeah.
Compared to your kids, you don't know what they're learning. So during COVID, my wife noticed when they were on Zoom, she was, doing her thing around the house. She just happened to be standing on the side listening in. And the demeanor that these teachers were talking to the kids,
yes,
she brought it up to the teacher's attention. She said, wait a minute, why are you talking to the kids this way? Mm-hmm. I mean, they're learning. They're kids. They were having an issue setting up their cameras, their mics. We didn't have a camera on ours, so it was on order.
Technical difficulties.
On Amazon. Yes, there was a lot of that. A lot of drop. They kept, calling her roll call. They kept calling her name. She wasn't answering, but she was typing in, "I'm here, present." And then the lady was like, "Well, if I don't hear from you, I'm going to put you absent." And then this and that. So she actually emailed it, and another parent also noticed that, but she didn't really want to take the step to do it. But yeah, my wife basically emailed her and said, "Hey, we either we need to talk or because something needs a change here." And she said after that, her attitude totally changed.
Well, I've brought this up in the past. A lot of people had that same experience. I've had a lot of parents who their kids have been in the system for a while. Again, I'm not experiencing that because my kid goes to this really awesome preschool. The other one's in daycare like twice a week. I'm not really experiencing that yet. I have a lot of friends that have 6 to 9 year old kids, and same thing. They're at home. They're trying to get life done because they still have to live life. Now their kids are at home on these laptops, and they all noticed the way that they were either talking to their kids or the actual curriculum
what they were saying.
The curriculum, correct? They're like, wait a minute, what's that have to do with anything?
It's like everyone pops off and wants a camera on a cop.
Right.
Next dirt bag that tries to rob somebody.
So let me ask you something.
We should have cameras in schools.
That was my next point.
I should be able to log into some live feed at any time
and
from
see
anywhere
the teacher
and see exactly what's happening.
As long as it's your print, not just any random person can go and check
it needs to be secured, right? So I
would say it just needs to be on the teacher. I don't give a shit about the kids if it's facing the kids.
I would have it where there's audio.
Yep.
Audio facing the teacher
and video just behind the teacher, maybe facing the kids, so you can kind of just check on them, see what they're.
I don't know. I don't think I'd want it facing the kids. I'm okay facing the teacher if you want to put yourself in.
You can face it on the back, I guess. Face it towards the front
because I don't want to see other people's kids.
Exactly.
I want a POV of what is being
unless you got ugly kids or something.
Yeah.
Hide them. Just hide them.
My kids are cute.
I mean, I always give my wife shit. Like I'm like, did you ask permission to put her picture on Instagram because she might not consent to her image being online, right? Like so, we kind of mess with that kind of stuff.
Did she consent to be calling being?
We but that's also probably too much information. So
depends on her mood, I guess.
But yeah, she you know, I mess with that kind of stuff, but privacy is a huge thing. And I would like to see maybe something from the back of the classroom just to see what's being taught.
Right.
If I can see the whiteboard and the topic of the day.
Yeah, and it's not enough to see the curriculum because you could see that on paper and everything looks great. But then you see the teacher teaching it and they start bringing up CRT. They start bringing up gender and stuff like that. It's like, dude, no, that's not your place, buddy.
There's another one. I had a meeting the other day with some people talking about school curriculum, actually, and we were talking about this new thing. I mean, CRT has been this big thing. A lot of, you know,
They're trying to push
decent
that.
amount of parents are aware of CRT at this point. There was this other thing I'm going to look up right now, but that's pretty sinister that's happening right now in the schools. And it's kind of that what I was alluding to earlier, just having kind of this weird secrecy, like, hey, this is what we're going to be talking about, but we don't really need to tell your parents about that kind of stuff. It's like, if I saw that on video, or A, if they knew that they were being recorded, they probably wouldn't be saying that kind of shit.
Oh, correct.
And B, if I were to catch that kind of stuff on video because they're bold and think no one's listening, it's getting shut down immediately.
Yeah.
I'm pulling my kids out of that school. Right. And actually that was shown to be a pretty powerful move down in the LA County School District when they were trying to push the vaccine on kids.
Right.
You know, some
Asking
ungodly
them-
amount of
asking
parents
them
that they were
for-
going to pull
yeah.
like 40,000 children out of the district or something.
Yeah. They were saying, you don't have to ask permission for your parents. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Let me look that up.
Now, childcare centers have, I know a lot of them have
A lot of cameras,
Have
yeah.
cameras.
Of course they do.
It's good, right?
Yeah, to make sure there's no abuse going on, stuff like that.
So, but I could already see the teachers unions jumping in saying, "Oh no,
well, teachers unions are garbage, man. They are run by the most useless human beings in the world. And I hope you're watching this. I know you won't, but I fucking hope you will. You guys are garbage humans. You guys are the worst humans known to man. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Our kids are more important than your fucking paychecks. You suck at life. Seriously, just quit. I don't care how you do it. Just quit life.
Actually, I have a pro tip for all the
Take
teachers
a long
out
walk
there.
off a short period, figuratively.
I have a pro tip for all the teachers out there. Instead of getting pissed off at parents for wanting what's best for their kids, why don't you go after the very systems that you belong to and start figuring out how much the administrators at your schools make? Why would an administrator be making 10 times more than the person who's supposed to be teaching your child?
Why do the people that
that
work at the union make a hell of a lot more than you? You know, well, you can't afford pens and pencils that they could have easily said, okay, well, we'll split this up and give you a stipend every year for your pens, pencils, construction paper, stuff like that.
You know, a lot of you go,
But no, they want that in their pocket. They have to pay for their house, and their kids to go to better schools than what you're teaching at.
Out of the boundaries.
That's out of the 2 miles. out,
0.3 miles away.
Yes.
But you know, it's like yeah. I mean, are you concerned about your next ability to afford your vacation? Are you concerned about like not getting your pay raise? Like, go to those people. Those
Doesn't it blow your mind though that people, especially in this state, don't see it? They don't. They walk around with fucking blinders on, and they don't see how garbage this state has become. Whether it's schooling, homelessness, anything, this state is garbage, and people keep fucking voting it in, and they just, I don't get it. I don't get it. And then they watch CNN and MSNBC, and they're like, oh well, this is this, and this is. Nobody gives a shit. How's your state doing?
It's professional brainwashing.
You know, it literally is.
They're too busy just.
And we're the
doing
guys
9 to
with the
5.
tinfoil hats on.
Well, of course.
It doesn't make sense.
I mean, what is that saying, right? You get to a point in degradation of society where the sane ones look like insane, and you know, it's like up is down and down is up, basically.
Yeah.
I mean,
and all in the name of either social justice or caring. I care about you.
all in the name of climate. We need to.
Yeah, that's a
be
tinfoil
more
hat.
climate
Well, let's ask the audience: would they be for cameras in schoolrooms?
That's a great question.
Would you guys be for cameras in schoolrooms?
Right.
Would you guys be for school choice? Those two right there would change the dynamics of this state, of this country, 110%. Because now I get to watch the teachers in a school and say, I don't like them. I'm taking my money elsewhere. Right. So what happens to these shitty public schools? Well, they go under. That's the way it's supposed to be. If you're not good at your job, you don't get a raise.
They got to shape up.
You get fired,
Yeah.
right? That's normal. If a teacher is not good at their job and everybody gets to see it, because they have our most precious asset ever.
That's our future.
Our children.
Yeah.
That is by far the best asset we have as parents, right? And if you can't see that, then you're a dumb parent. You know, you don't deserve to be a parent. You know, the kid is going to know what you know. The kid is going to, you know, be raised by you. It should not be raised by a school. And if a teacher's trying to do that, we should be able to see it. We should be able to say, nope, you are not getting my funding. I'm sending my money somewhere else.
Pushing your views on them. And,
correct. And I'm not saying, okay, we don't want the money in our pockets. We want the money to send them where we want to send them.
To transform it.
Right. And most of the time, private schools are cheaper than what you pay annually for a kid to go to public school.
You just don't see it.
You just don't see it because it's all hidden in a bunch of, you know, union
even if there was a difference that I would have to pay out of pocket, I mean, I would do it.
Correct. Sure. Like in Arizona, I think it's $7,000 a year per public school student. So that is what the parents get. The parents get a $7,000 voucher.
Correct.
Right? And they say, okay, send your kid wherever you want. Most parents are still sending them to public schools because they're not that bad there. But other parents that are maybe religious, whether it's Muslim, Christian, Jewish, they can send them to their school of choice, right? And then it's not money out of their pocket. That is correct.
It's still
that is 110,000,000% fucking correct.
Right.
And like I said, they're the most precious asset we have, the best one we have. Fuck a home, fuck a car. That your children are your future. Right? No matter what you do.
You're hoping they take care of you when you're 80.
I need them to wipe my ass when I'm 65, buddy. I'm starting young.
Change my diapers.
Yeah, I can't wait to be a crotchety old man. Come here, wipe my ass.
I can't wait. What do you mean? I deal with that every day.
Come on, Dad. It's the third time today.
I
So
did it for you.
This other one I was talking about earlier is called SEL. So you have CRT and SEL. SEL is social emotional learning.
Oh.
And this gets into the more kind of sinister aspect of some secret conversations that happen with teachers. I was just told about this last week, and I wanted to do a little bit of digging. Cassiel.org, no idea who they are, but they describe SEL as it can help all young people and adults thrive personally and academically, develop and maintain positive relationships, becoming lifelong learners, and contribute to a more caring, just world. So much like a lot of these bills that Congress comes up with, the descriptions...
It sounds good.
They sound great.
Yeah.
They sound awesome.
Dude, they have hired professionals to actually
word
this
it
stuff.
out. Yeah.
But it actually ends up being the exact opposite of what it typically
Correct.
says. So I don't know much
The road
about
to
this.
hell
I'm not
is
going to
paved
speak
in
on
good
it,
intentions.
but I will be doing an update on this later as I learn more about it, and we will...
All right, so
next topic.
Public schools, private schools, whatever, there's something that kids do that as you get out of high school, you stop doing, right? PE, fitness.
Physical education.
Physical education. I didn't do it for the longest time. Threw out my back, hurt my back, had surgeries, stuff like that. Yeah. I've been doing it for quite a while now. I work out all the time, diet, exercise. It's great for you. It changes your mindset. It's very hard to get started, but once it's started, it's very hard to stop. It's extremely hard to stop. It's very addicting, right? Because especially working out, fitness, you know it. You go to the gym, you can spend 30 minutes there, and you'll be changed person in a week. I'm not kidding. It's very simple. Well, it's not really simple, but you just got to get there. That's the hardest part, right?
Show up.
Just
show up and walk around.
You don't even have to give it 100% at first.
Walk around, get on the treadmill for 5 minutes.
Get better, correct.
Check out other machines.
Right? So
just get in a habit of getting there.
Correct.
And then eventually your body's just going to
and you're only going to get better at it, right? It's just like practice, right? I've started lifting differently than I used to lift. I've noticed more gains,
and
more weight at,
I tend more hours were climbing. I was spending more and more time over time.
Yeah, sometimes
and
I'm
it was like
there for an hour and a half, 2
I
hours.
Was
I'm
like, wow, I really got to get out of here now.
Yeah.
You got gains, bro?
Come on, bro. Sorry,
that's a Poppins patch for you, right? You got gains, bro.
Yeah.
But do you lift, bro?
Do you even lift? Not at all. But it's after your workout, you may not feel good the first time. It's gonna be hurt. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna get sore, stuff like that. It's not gonna be like that forever. It's actually like a natural high when you're done, right? You spend an hour at the gym, you lift something heavy, or you run, or you sit on the fucking, what's that elliptical thing? Right? The elliptical, right?
Yeah.
or just do some booty squats. Who cares, right?
Once those endorphins kick in,
Once the endorphins kick in,
you can run forever. You'd be
and
like Forrest Gump.
And then when you're done, it's the best high in the world.
Yes.
It really is. You're done. Everything's, your body's, calming down.
high.
You've released so many endorphins. Your serotonin levels are off the charts. It's better than getting high from any drug.
Cheaper.
It's yeah. I mean, dude, you can go run around the
Cheaper and
block
natural.
5 times and it's free. Yeah. Didn't cost you anything. Maybe a pair of shoes.
It costs you effort, which is why people don't do it.
A lot of people,
A lot of people don't like to put in the effort.
I don't have time. I have kids
That's
that
the
gotta go
biggest.
feed.
That's the biggest excuse I hear.
I have kids that got to feed. I have to go clean
Biggest
the house.
excuse I hear, and I'll call bullshit on it. It's you don't want to find the time, and you don't want to make the effort.
Well, and this is
Right.
why I'm going to push back just a little bit, but not in the idea of fitness, just in the idea of going to the gym. I like to advocate for incorporating the gym into the home. Obviously,
You do gym at home. I would love that. That's perfect.
I don't have the
Perfect.
space for it personally. I have delusions of grandeur trying to figure out something in my garage at this moment, but it's probably not going to happen.
You have the space for bands. Don't give me that shit.
For what?
You have the space for bands. Bands are cheap. You get the green one, the purple one,
You
the
know what?
red
I'm,
one, and the
I'm
black
old
one.
school, man. I want a bench. I don't need it to incline.
Okay,
or
so
decline,
you're-
and I want an elliptic. Olympic.
He's like most
Olympic
people.
bar.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that's what I did in high school,
That's
man.
it.
And it's
No,
what
no, no.
I know.
I
right?
do the same thing all the time. We've been building a gym at my buddy's house. I got gym membership. I go all the time. I love it. Right? It feels good after. It does not feel good driving to the gym. It does not
Yes.
feel
You're
good
just
the first
dragging your
5 to
feet.
10 minutes in the gym.
But once
20 minutes
yeah.
in, you feel great.
you're just
Well,
30
there's-
minutes in, you feel better. An hour, hour and a half, you go back out to your car and you're just like accomplished, right? It's an accomplishment, and you keep doing that, and it gets better. It feels better every single time. But like you don't have room for a gym. You don't have the money for a gym. Buy a set of bands.
Yeah.
Walk around the block.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something simple. Do body weight squats in your house while you're taking a shower. I know it's weird because you're naked and your butthole's just like, you know what I mean? But
Just flexing. You're working your
do
butt.
body weight
Coming
squats.
from such a place of privilege to be able to bend down in your shower in the first place.
Work on that Pinkster muscle, right?
But if after your shower, it's even weirder if you're naked with a towel on.
But you're extra clean now
just
because
kiss the floor, right?
So when I got out of high
Just
school,
body weight squats. 10 of them a day.
yeah,
10
So
push-ups.
My
10
grandpa's
push-ups are free.
My grandpa's in his 80s. He does push-ups and sit-ups every night before he goes to bed. He tries to do them in the morning as well. I mean, he's been doing that ever since I've been on this planet. Like, that's the discipline that is required for this kind of stuff. So two things.
Discipline, yeah.
Discipline is huge in this kind of stuff. And that's why I do advocate for a little bit more of, at least, not a home gym, but a place that you can feel comfortable and have enough space to actually get your heart rate up,
Right.
actually break a sweat. You remove a lot of those abilities to make excuses.
Yeah.
Oh, I left my gym bag at home. You're already home.
Yeah.
Right.
Go change and go do it. Right.
Yeah, you know what I noticed when
I
I
have
had
my kids.
the home gym,
Ride a bike with your kid.
Yeah.
Hey, let's drive around the neighborhood.
if a bike costs too much, take a walk. Push-ups, squats, you can do burpees, you can do a lot of stuff,
Jumping
just body
jacks.
weight.
Yeah,
and I'm
just
not talking about getting big. I'm not
calisthenics.
talking about, doing all this stuff.
Just getting your heart rate.
Get
Get
out,
your heart
get
rate
your
up.
heart rate
Yeah.
above 120. It will burn fat after that. From 120 to 140, whatever.
Yeah.
Anything above that's a little dangerous. But sometimes I'm hitting 150 and I'm like, yeah.
Depends on if you're only on a natural high or not.
So I try to keep mine around below 120 because I'm not trying to lose fat. I'm trying to build, size. But that's besides the fact. If you do it, and like I said in the beginning of this video, I would love to see all Americans, not most, not some, all Americans healthy. And, oh, my bad knee. Do something that doesn't require it. Do a push-up do a sissy push-up. I don't know why they call them that. I'm sorry. Do a push-up on your knees.
Yeah.
They call them girl push-ups, sissy push-ups, whatever. I don't care what they call them. Do push-ups from your knees.
It's just a way to reduce the amount of weight that you're lifting.
Correct. On a pad. Oh, my shoulder hurts. Do something that doesn't require that. Squats do not require a shoulder. Oh, my knee and my shoulder. Well, do planks, side planks on the opposite side. Just do something to get your heart rate elevated, to get the endorphins going. You'll get that serotonin release. You'll feel better, and things will work themselves out. I had a hurt elbows. I've had a hurt shoulder. I've had a hurt knee. And the more I work out, the better I feel. Yeah. The more it goes away. I'll take a few weeks, like when my shoulders hurt, take a few weeks of lightweight. Then I'll go back to just hogging out the heavyweights. But, that's it. It does your body feels like shit because you're not doing anything with it.
Because it's not used to it.
You know what I mean? And because you're filling it with McDonald's, you're filling it with alcohol, which, you know, we do too, but I work it out, right? It's just fill it with healthy shit. And we've talked about it on another episode that there is no healthy fast food alternative, right? As compared to like McDonald's and stuff like that. He was joking around, said Chick-fil-A. That's not really healthy. But
damn it,
if you think about it, but if you think about it, how much does an apple cost?
Yeah, I mean,
Less than $1. How much does a cheeseburger cost?
Just like an apple.
How much does a cheeseburger cost?
I mean, they definitely raised the
89 cents.
prices.
I
It's
know
not the
it.
dollar menu anymore,
Correct.
right?
It's like $1.50. But I know it doesn't taste as good, but you will feel better. Not the first time, not the second time.
That's not what the kids want, though.
Fuck what the kids want.
Right, yeah.
What's good for them, right?
Right. Oh, I mean, I'm not going to eat it.
Oh, because
Just
we
like-
all want what's good
Well,
for
it's
us,
like,
right?
you know, eat your broccoli. I'm like, oh, I hate broccoli. You
Dude,
know?
I got my youngest
When I was
loves,
younger.
my
I love broccoli now.
My youngest loves cucumbers. I don't even like cucumbers, but I'll give him as many as he wants. Right? That's
Right.
good carbs.
Exactly.
It's healthy. It's fast acting carbs.
Right, and it's going to
You
fill
know,
you.
and it's natural carbs. It's not bleached sugar like what's in everything else. No drinks. We did an alternative to soda. No soda in the house. We do soda water, right? And the kids drink it like it's going out of style, which kind of sucks because it's
It's not
expensive.
best for
It's
you.
more expensive, right?
Back
But-
to paying for water.
Yeah, if you're
you go,
drinking,
go
if you drink a Pepsi a day, stop. Don't drink a Diet Pepsi. It's not any better for you. It's got that fake aspartame and all those other fake crap in
sugars,
it.
yes.
Drink a soda water. You still get the bubbly effect. I know it doesn't taste the same. I know it's weird at first. Get used to it. You won't even, in 6 months, you wouldn't even know you were missing anything. You wouldn't. That's just the way it works, you know?
Soda water with a little bit of mint in it will give it some flavor.
See, you could put mint in it. You could put lemon in it.
Once you
can-
put rum in there, now it's a mojito. So stay away from that.
Nice.
That's a good shit, though. Mint
Oh,
and some clover leaves. Or not clover leaves, mint leaves.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they don't even have the dollar menu anymore. They have what is called the 1, 2,
Everyday value
They have
menu.
what is called the 1, 2, 3 menu.
It's $1,
There's
$2.
only a soft drink for $1. It's small, and a specialty McCafe beverage for $2,
So-
which is a small. There's no actual protein on there.
Yeah.
The cheapest thing on here is a cheeseburger and the Happy Meal, and that's $2.49. Actually, sorry, the hamburger is $2.49.
So I rarely, if ever, eat McDonald's.
Yeah.
Me too.
I maybe once a year, if that, and I regret
I'll
it.
crave a Big Mac,
yes,
and then
I'll-
after I eat it, I feel like shit.
I'll crave the double cheeseburger. I'll have one,
dude, but it's like, oh, it's
Within
so good, and then I'm
15
like-
minutes afterwards, I feel
Like
like
crap.
shit.
Your body's rejecting it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, you know.
Oh, here's 2 cheeseburgers for $2.
There you go.
So
You got to buy 2 though.
Only on
Gotta buy 2.
Only on Wednesdays.
Quality over or quantity over quality, right?
while limited supplies last.
But
Just freeze them.
know,
You can pull
get
them out,
up,
microwave them.
work out. Dude, it's fucking free to get your heart rate up. It is totally free, and it's the best thing you'll ever do. Stop fucking complaining about things that hurt, because if you do something physical, it will stop hurting. You just have to do it.
Well, but a lot of this is diet as well.
Diet.
You know, and you know,
right,
so,
so-
I've always heard that like shoulders hurt. People try and deal with shoulder pain, rotator cuff surgeries. They have all these issues. They still end up having shoulder pains.
Yeah.
Your left shoulder is connected to your stomach, and your right shoulder is connected to your liver. Have you ever heard this?
You know what's connected of yours and mine?
It's all under the table, guys. You can't see any of it. But you know,
they
like,
can see under the table a little bit.
but my whole thing is like, you know, I've been going to doctors like pretty routinely for the last maybe decade. We didn't really do that a lot when I was young because we were poor and couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I've been involved with a lot of doctors, different places. Stanford, we have like all these like hodgepodge or hoity-toity places to go see doctors. Not one person in the last decade has asked me about my diet. Not a dermatologist, not my primary doctor.
Right.
Right. And these are,
Well, take it into your own hands and start testing on yourself, right?
yeah.
So I heard sugars. If you start cutting down on sugars, that's going to cut down inflammation everywhere.
Usually on sugary, bleached sugar, right? So you're talking about snacks and candies and stuff like that.
Soda.
Stuff
But if
that's
you're talking
processed,
about
yeah.
like fruits, non-processed,
No,
like
that's
fruits,
just natural.
those are naturally occurring carbohydrates. They're fast-acting carbohydrates as compared to bread, which ends up turning into sugar in your body. That's a slow-acting,
It's slow,
unnatural
so
carbohydrate.
it's gonna get stored.
Right, so it's bad for you, right? That's
gluten, right?
gluten.
Yeah.
That's another, it's basically a carbohydrate, right?
Yeah.
If you can cut out sugar and cut out gluten in your diet, I know that sounds crazy and is difficult, but
So
I think a lot of people would see some,
I have-
some
You'll
benefits.
see diabetes just go inflammation
Yep,
in your
yep.
joints.
You see
in your
everything
knees,
healthier.
Everything's gonna. feel
everybody
better.
would be healthier. I can't quite get rid of all carbohydrates, sugars, and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of certain foods. I love pizza. I love this. I love that. So what I did, and I watched a video on it a long time ago, and it was a guy selling something, and I didn't want to buy it. So I just watched, the science behind the diet. Oh, take this, and this is the science behind it, and stuff like that. So I learned, okay, I wanted to try it. So I don't know, 6 months ago, I think it was about 6 months ago, I started carb cycling. And what that means is every other day, I do not eat carbs. I eat fat, protein, no dietary fibers, no carbs. I've lost almost 20 pounds.
Wow.
I feel better than I ever felt in my life.
He actually looks good.
And yeah, he was talking
We had
about
a pool
me with-
party yesterday, and I just kind of like shriveled up, and I looked at my other buddy. I'm like, do I want to look like him or do I want to look like him? Because I stopped going to the gym right after COVID. Our gym closed down, and then briefly it reopened for 2 weeks, and then it closed down again, and I just lost all motivation. So I'm actually going to go back to the gym.
I'm fucking,
Thank you for that.
that's wonderful.
Thank
I
you
would
for
love
that.
to get I have no stake in anything, by the way. I would love to see everybody in the gym. Supplements are mostly bullshit. There's a couple good ones. I'm not here to talk about those, but
Yeah, but literally watching what you're eating, elevating your heart rate.
watching what you're eating. So, and like I said, I don't eat carbs every other day. Today's a carb day, so I'm a little fat feeling, right? But, I eat pizza. I eat kind of like crap on my carb days, but on my no carb days, I eat pork rinds, meat, cheese, sour cream, lots of eggs, lots of eggs.
Yeah,
And
you're
you
awesome.
scramble them with
you should come to my house.
fried
Yeah, I
cheese
love
on it.
eggs.
Ooh, oh yeah, your chickens.
Got my chickens out.
But
there,
you
man.
scramble some eggs with some fried cheese on it. Put some sour cream, hot sauce. That's every other night. That's my dinner.
Yeah.
3-4 eggs, with tons of stuff on it. And as long as there's no carbs in it,
It's a good protein source.
very light on the salsa because there are some dietary fibers in there. Because but it's changed my life. I've lost 20 pounds, easily kept it off. I'm down to, I'm 20 pounds from what I was a year ago. And I've got the proof, I've weighed myself through the whole thing. And I just was doing it as hey, let's see if this diet works.
Let's see if this works. Yeah.
The science behind it made sense. Your body burns, carbohydrates as energy. That's what it burns, right? As a secondary fuel, it'll burn fat when there's no carbohydrates to burn. So what happens on the days that you're not eating carbs is your body freaks the fuck out. Says, hey, I'm not going to ever have carbs again. What do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
So it burns its secondary fuel and stores the carbs, which carbs are good for muscle size. Fat is, there's some fatty acids in muscle and stuff like that, but protein's good for muscle density. Carbs are good for muscle size. And I'm trying to get bigger muscle wise while trying to lose the fat. So I don't want to lose the carbs as energy. So every other day, my body burns fat, thinking
when
it's not going to get any
Especially
anymore.
when you work out,
Especially when you work
need
out,
that energy.
you need the
carbs.
energy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to replace them right after you work out with like a
Right.
banana or something like that.
Right.
But if my body is now storing carbs, thinking, hey, I don't know when I'm going to have any
Right.
again. What does it do for energy? It will burn fat. I'm a little bit more tired on those days, not going to lie, in the gym. But those are the days you really find out who you are as a human if you push, right? You got to push yourself. And I get to the gym on a lot of times, like 3 times a week. And I'm like, I don't want to be here. Mm-hmm. But I just start.
Yep.
That's it. Literally, just start. Lift a fucking weight. Practice lifting it up and down. That's all you're doing.
What's
down,
that?
up, down.
What's that shit that Jocko said on his podcast famously?
I don't know. Jocko Willink?
Yeah. Discipline equals freedom. Discipline
And it
equals
does.
freedom. That's one
does.
of his that I didn't really give a lot of credit at first when I first heard that a couple years ago. But man, as if it not true.
And don't skip leg day either. I used to skip leg day.
I dread like.
Yeah,
You know
I
what,
used to
though?
skip leg
If-
day. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's really fun.
I like
because
back.
because
I
on
just
legs you
focus
can just
on back.
overload your body and just see what it can do.
It's just
Right? Just to be like, oh,
it's a
I
different,
can do that.
It's,
Holy crap!
it's a different pain for me. Legs.
Well, if
It's never the
and most
day of,
people
it's
most
always the
people
day
aren't going to
after.
do this,
Yeah, it's
but
just-
if you work out 6 days a week, 5-6 days a week, like I do, you don't get that sore anymore, right? It's the lactic acid when you're
Right.
pulling your muscles apart. It's releasing, and at one point, that's no longer there. So as you're pulling your muscles apart and they're
Less of
stretching,
that acid.
there's less of it that's coming out,
So
right?
less pain, yeah.
So you don't.
Recovery
I don't
rate's
get
faster.
sore. I can do a hard workout. I could do a hard workout today and tomorrow I feel fine.
No.
That does go away. It lasts about a month or so. If you're actually pushing yourself, but that's not really what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is get up and move, right? Like I say on the end of every episode we do, I'd love to see every single fucking human being in the United States. I don't care about Canada. Canada can go to hell for all I care. Trudeau's a piece of shit. But I'd love to see every American get up, just walk, get it. If you want to get a dog so you have something to walk, so you don't feel weird out by yourself.
Walk with a leash.
If you have to walk around, if you have a small apartment, just walk around your apartment and just do that for 30 minutes. Just pace. I know it feels weird. I get it. But get your heart rate up, And like I said, at 120, you start burning fat. Yeah. Burn the fat. If you don't have any fat and you're like, oh, I don't need to work out. Yes, you do. Whether you're skinny, whether you're overweight, you should work out.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's good for your heart. It moves it, right? It's a machine. It's literally a biomechanical pump.
Yeah.
And the more you pump it,
you need
the better it works.
Yes, it's more
right?
efficient. Yeah.
Well, that was one of my buddies last night, like super skinny dude, like, fit looking. Hadn't seen him in a while. I was chopping it up, and I was talking a little bit about, home gym, right? I've got some other buddies in the mountains that are pretty close. Our kids are close in age. We kind of hang out anyways. So like they have plenty of room. We were talking about maybe getting something going on over there, incorporating kids as well. We're really trying to do that. I have these RC cars that I just go on a hike with TJ, and we're like walking on the trail, hitting hills, and bombing the RC cars. He's getting his heart elevated. He just doesn't even realize it because he's having fun with it.
And he's getting excited,
right? Yeah.
So I mean, there's ways to do this kind of stuff, but I'm like, oh yeah, blah blah. He's like, I don't work out. I'm like, what? Look at you. Like he's like, no, I don't work out. And I'm like, well, so I started kind of talking about like just exercise in general. And a couple minutes into the conversation, he's like, oh no, like I run like 3 miles like every other day. I'm like, oh, well, you work out.
That's a workout.
That's a workout,
he's
right?
thinking, like,
He's thinking
in the
weights.
gym, hitting, and it's like, but you're still doing it.
He's doing cardio.
You're out there. You're getting your heart elevated, and you're bettering yourself. You're attempting to better yourself. You want to wake up a better person than you did the day before.
And instill it in your kids. I mean, even if you can't get up and go do something for yourself, get your kids doing it, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that have their own excuses for their own lives. Okay, fine. You do you. Get your kids out there. Like our kids do like sports after school. They do music before school. They do sports after school. And during the summer now they do jiu-jitsu twice a week. Dude, that is fantastic. And then the older ones that I got them gym memberships, they come with me to the gym. They come with me to my buddy's house to work out a lot, right? And they're getting ripped quickly because they're full of growth hormone, right? I look at them after 2 days of working out. I'm like,
they got testosterone
I seriously, I almost had tears
that
coming
we don't have anymore.
I was almost crying, right? So it's. I know I'm beating a drum here, but just get your kids moving. Public schools do have some good PE classes, right? They offer. We did volleyball. They did wrestling.
Unless you're involved in like track or something.
They did do. They did
like cross country running.
Cross country running.
That's great.
They did the volleyball. They did wrestling, and now they showed a real interest in wrestling. Right, the boys. It's going to happen. So we put them in jiu-jitsu. They love it. They're doing good at it. They're, and it's not even about being better than the other guy. It is because you want to win, right? That's the nature of being. That's human nature, right? You want to win.
But you're working out.
But they're working out.
Oh yeah,
they're working out, right? And if you want them to do something with you at home, if you have children and you want to try to do something, involve your kids.
Make it fun.
Have your kids sit with you, or not sit with you, stand with you, and just do 20 squats a day, do 10 push-ups a day with your kids. Make a little competition out of it, right?
Exactly,
have your kids sit on your back while you're doing push-ups,
Right, make it fun.
I don't know. It's sad to see that a lot of people to just give up on it. And it's almost like they've given up on life, and they're just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to make the time. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. This guy's going to go back to the gym. I swear I'm going to get this guy in the gym.
Oh, we will.
Once I get this guy in the gym, it's over. You know what I mean? He's already lost a lot of weight just from diet changes.
Yep.
A lot of weight.
Yep.
It started with COVID. Now it's diet change.
Well, but you said something a little bit ago that is true. No, you don't have a cheering section. There's not 20 cheerleaders.
Correct. There's no
like,
participation trophy either.
I got
or
that.
awards.
I got that a little bit when I was in high school because there was that camaraderie with my football teammates. I played rugby too, so you know it's like we did the 2-a-days in the gym in the morning and then after, and then go practice in the hot Iowa summers, and we definitely did carry that on into our post high school life. We had 4 bedrooms, 3 guys, so the 4th bedroom was a bench. Right, we had a bench, we had some free weights, we had some dumbbells, and then actually the property management opened up a gym that created a membership out of our rent. Oh, and it was in the complex next to us, so it was from here to across the street basically to get to the gym. So we'd run over there, we'd do a workout, we'd run around the neighborhood and get home. And if we didn't feel like going over there, we had our option in our house. But it's like it was just super simple. But we also had that that drive or that push from your gym partner, right? And I saw my wife, for example, was part of this really awesome gym. It was a long ways away. It was over up in Santa Clara. It was a long drive. You get stuck in traffic. We try to do it early and stuff. And like these are all the kind of things that I kind of want to remove as like excuses, right? To like try and drive to the gym and all that stuff. And if I can provide a place to do that, it's just like camping, trying to provide her a place to be able to enjoy herself camping, right?
When's that happening?
It's next weekend, baby.
Yeah,
next weekend.
Thursday.
She's trying to pull out. She's trying to.
She's going up there with you guys.
Yeah,
she's trying to bail right now. We'll see.
We're gonna force her to.
We'll see.
I don't think I got a cough coming on.
Yeah, we're gonna. That's all right. We all had COVID, so who cares right now? We already had COVID.
Yes. More time will tell.
We're just gonna kidnap her. I got some straps in the back.
You might actually see us
some
by
chloroform
a campfire next weekend, attempting to do one of these things. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we're gonna try it in the trailer, see how it goes.
I think we blabbed on long enough. We're probably over an hour. So,
but I guess I don't need to go out with a bang.
Yeah, no, you did your thing.
But people, trust me, I know it doesn't feel good. And one more thing, a lot of people will start something and they don't see results.
They quit.
They quit. Right? Yep. Don't feed yourself rabbit food. We're not meant to live on salads and under calorie every day. Right? To be in a caloric deficit, which means not eating enough calories in a day for too long of a period of time, will mess you up. Don't do that. You got to learn what diet works for you. If what I do, carb cycling, works for you, more power to you, because you get to eat whatever the fuck you want every other day. If you don't see results in 3 months, just keep at it.
Yeah.
Just keep at it. Results will come. They take a lot longer than that. The human body is an amazing thing. Just use it.
And don't rely on the weight. You'll start noticing inches going off before your weight comes off.
Correct, right? You'll notice, and especially when the weight starts coming off.
These pants are a little loose now.
The pants will be looser, and you're lighter on your feet, and you feel
more energized.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I do more things around the house. I do much more things than I used to do a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, right? Even though I was still going to the gym and stuff like that, I was eating like shit.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a yin and a yang,
It's an incredible feeling. I wish everybody knew what that feeling was. I wish everybody could do it. You can do it, but I wish everybody would do it, right?
We're going to keep pushing for it. We're going to keep railing on it here. It's probably going to get old, but we're also going to be doing it ourselves.
Yeah, I know. I sound like a broken fucking record.
Well, but I think, I think there's a large problem with people in positions of influence or leadership roles or what have you that ask people to do something they're not willing to do themselves.
Yeah.
Right. So I, for one,
easier to say it.
I don't know if you noticed, but I was a little quiet on this topic just because I'm not in it right now.
I'll get him in it. Don't worry.
I used to do that.
I'm pretty persuasive.
A couple years ago, and we're working on trying to figure out a home gym jam. But yeah, like my wife and I are definitely a on the same level.
I make him climb the stairs at work.
Mostly. Right.
Hey, I forgot this down in the truck. Go grab it. Yeah.
Mostly running back for more tools that I refused to bring the first time. But
yeah.
And some gyms aren't expensive. Planet Fitness, $10 for their basic membership a month.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a large barrier to entry. It's a much larger barrier to entry trying to buy all the equipment yourself at your house.
Yeah.
I mean, during COVID,
$10 a month, man. Jesus.
That's
cheap.
That's like
even homeless people can afford that.
Hey, you know what?
Here
we go. Here we go. If you write in and give us a good reason, we will pay for somebody's gym membership.
I will pay for your gym membership.
If that started one person, give us a good reason, send us a story. we'll pay for somebody.
If somebody writes in and says, "Hey, I've been doing this and I can't get to it. I'm not a personal trainer, but I swear I will help you. If you follow my plan, meet with me. I'll take you to the gym. You will be better. I promise you that."
It depends on where you're at.
Yeah, it depends.
Depends on where you're at. If you're not local,
Northern California.
I ain't going to Texas to meet you at 5 o'clock.
I will help you. I will talk to you. I will talk to you. Say, hey, don't eat this. Eat this. Yeah. This is how this is how I've noticed my workouts work best for me.
Right.
I know there's a lot of people out there that are selling something. We're not selling anything. My goal is to make America healthier.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just try and be better. Just try and be better.
Because that makes us all better humans, you know? And that's all we sit here and bitch about is how to be a better human, better than us, right?
We'll talk about that a little bit. That was just an idea I had in real time, but we'll discuss a little bit of that, see what we can come up with. So with that, I want to thank Johnny for being on again. I appreciate the efforts with the water. And man, Bush family, dude, it's rough.
It's crazy.
But this has been another episode of the Unrefined Project, and we love you guys. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Deuces.
Peace.
Yeah.